as was reflected in the president's budget, and deal with this wartime level debt, $2 trillion in annual deficit spending that's going to double, and interest payments that exceed not only national defense, but Medicare payments. The wheels are coming off the wagon. We can't get to the president's rocket ship economy. We cannot usher in the golden age. In fact, we risk a sovereign debt crisis if we don't deal with the unsustainable deficits and national debt. So this is a pivotal moment for our country. It's a generational opportunity to get our fiscal house in order, and that has to be a part of. And in fact, the president has called for us to put our country on a path to balance. That is part of the full America First agenda, and it's reflected in the House budget resolution.
Okay, so let's talk about this reconciliation package, because there are a number of skeptics who think it only will explode debt and deficit. Are you convinced that what's been put together, you can tell the American people, is not going to contribute to the concerns that you have? Are there any daylights? Is there any difference between what you and Chairman Smith have come up with? Because there's still a lot of very difficult decisions to be made about this package, the details.
Yeah, I'm convinced that if we take the cost of tax cuts and defense and border spending, and we achieve and exceed our budget targets for offsetting those through revenue to the Treasury as a result of the pro-growth policies in the budget reconciliation bill, and the deficit spending reduction through entitlement reform mainly. That's health care, welfare, and other programs. If we do that, Shannon, we will bend the curve on debt to GDP and deficit to GDP. The Secretary of Treasury says we have to stabilize the debt and give confidence to the bond markets. And we have to go from 7% deficit GDP to 3.5%. So if we follow the framework that we laid out in the budget resolution, then we will restore fiscal health. It won't get us out of the debt hole overnight, but it is a good first step and a down payment for our kids to actually be on good fiscal footing, a sustainable path, and enjoy the same opportunities and freedoms that we have. So the House is going to drive it. If we achieve that framework and those budget targets, we will improve the fiscal health of our country, indeed.
So one of the things you talk, and I hear you saying "if" a lot, sounding as if you maybe are not convinced that this is all yet locked into stone, the place that you would like it to be, to see the math, as we say, when it comes to figuring these things out on Capitol Hill. But I want to ask you about Medicaid specifically, because the House Energy and Commerce Committee has been tasked with cutting $880 billion. Now, they oversee Medicaid, so that's where Democrats think the slashing is going to come. Here is the top Democrat in the House, Hakeem Jeffries.